All right, we're moving on, ladies and gentlemen. So, Tekashi 6ix9ine, everyone knows him as the guy everyone loves because he kept his mouth shut in prison. Oh, that's not what happened. That's not what happened, ladies and gentlemen. What do they say? Snitches get stitches. Well, that's actually what happened here. He got beat up in the bathroom of a LA Fitness in Miami, Florida.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to like play the video? Not much of it is even visible.
Yeah, let's. I can play.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah. All right, here we go. See if we can. Is there audio, or can we do it with audio? I think we can.
Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty brutal.
Like,
He's got blood all over his face. He walks out wearing like just his socks.
Yeah.
You should not go up to someone and be like, I'm your biggest fan right after they got beat up. That's so ridiculous.
That was like a different guy that just happened upon the situation and was like, can I get a selfie? Like, what are you talking about?
What? Like, it's like his face is like swollen shut.
Yeah. And he got hospitalized after this with his injuries to, I believe, his rib cage.
So I saw this video yesterday, and I didn't want to tweet it out, but these goons, I think it's steroids, man.
Why?
Dude.
They just got roid rage at the gym. They didn't even know who Tekashi 6ix9ine was.
No, they definitely do. They definitely do, but this is a ridiculous response. They're all caught on camera in a public LA Fitness bathroom. Yeah. They're all going to get in trouble for this.
I mean, my question is,
idiots.
Someone of 6ix9ine's socioeconomic status, why is he going to a public gym?
He's actually come out and said he's basically broke now. If I
Yeah,
remember correctly.
Really?
It's like the Island Boys. Remember those guys?
I just think if you've had a big song or many big songs with big artists like Nicki Minaj, etc., like there is money that comes from that residually.
I decided to ask ChatGPT, why do people hate Tekashi 6ix9ine? We know why.
That's a good question.
We know why. It's snitches get stitches, right? So
he was on racketeering charges. Am I right?
Yes.
And
so it gave me a couple of answers. It's really funny. It's very magnanimous in its approach here. It says could be criminal activity. He's been involved in various criminal activities throughout his career, including drug dealing, armed robbery, and firearms offenses. In 2018, he pleaded guilty to charges of racketeering, firearms offenses, drug trafficking, and cooperated with the authorities in exchange for a reduced sentence. Many people view his cooperation as a betrayal and a question of his credibility.
The cooperation,
yes.
What ChatGPT failed to put out there in its description is that his cooperation required him to give the feds information on other gang associates. He was in, what was he, in the Bloods?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's not for the consequences of my own actions,
it's the same thing
coming back to me, like.
Gunna has been shunned since getting out of prison too, a decent amount. Like they're not happy with him either.
They even knew that this was what was going to happen to him. Like, do you prefer to be beaten up in prison or out of prison? Yeah. It said the assistant U.S. attorney said at the time, 6ix9ine will forever have to look over his shoulder. It's true. And now, like, I think that XXX Tentacion's murderer is on trial right now.
They got found guilty, I think.
All three of them.
He's been found guilty.
All of them. Pretty sure.
One of them was like recorded smiling and blowing kisses at his family members in court.
Unreal.
Like that's actually unhinged sociopath.
They're
behavior.
also saying the other reasons they list are cultural appropriation. They say that Tekashi 6ix9ine, they say he's guilty of appropriating black culture, particularly through his use of the N-word and his style of rap music. They argue that he is not authentic and is exploiting a culture that he does not truly understand or represent.
Isn't that crazy that Tekashi 6ix9ine has always been one of the mainstream rappers who is not black, who is just allowed for some reason to say the N-word all the time. Like, he just does it, and because there's no explanation, because there's no apology, people don't address it anymore. He's done songs with black artists while saying the N-word in his own lines. No one cares. It's complete selective outrage.
Why do you think that is?
When you don't apologize, no one cares. That's the fact. Like, you can't be canceled if you evidently don't care.
Look at Chris Brown. Chris
Yeah,
Brown doesn't
same thing.
apologize. Nothing
Same
happens
thing.
to him. They,
If you're not apologetic or you're not trying to explain yourself all the time, no one can get the sweet trauma coins that they want out of you.
Did you hear that, Che Young? You should have just never apologized. You should have just kept wearing the
It's
shirt.
usually a bad decision. I'm not saying I like defend any of their actions. I'm just saying like that's the psychology of it. The mob wants you to panic.
Yep. So the rapper whose legal name is Daniel Hernandez walked out of the restroom with a bloodied face. Like, I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner, to be completely honest.
Well, there have probably been other incidences, but he can't even, if he said that he's broke, he can't even afford to have private security around him. But where is like the new music? Like, I'm sure he could come out with new music.
There was a documentary about him on Hulu.
Still make money.
Yeah, but I wonder how much, are you able to pull up like if he had to pay any damages through the...
I don't think he had to pay any damages.
At all?
No.
There was nothing?
Doesn't seem, it would have said here, I guess.
They're saying that's what Balenciaga did. They just didn't apologize. Is that...
Exactly, yeah. Whether it's an individual or a corporation, no matter what you're doing, if you just ignore it, people memory hole it so fast.
Are they still like putting out really creepy ads?
Probably not.
They partnered with some charity organization for children.
Advocacy group, yeah.
And made a bunch of empty platitudes about how they're going to rededicate themselves to educating themselves on child exploitation.
So when you...
Nothing actually changed.
I searched Balenciaga in Google, and the first thing is a Snopes article that's telling me, don't worry, does not mean ball is king, Balenciaga.
Oh, thanks for telling us,
Thanks, Snopes. Yeah, well, I guarantee they're still probably doing creepy things.
I mean, that's funny because Balenciaga is literally just the founder's name. Yeah. It's just his last name.
Yeah, it's just
but maybe they were like,
but they did spell it like Baal in that ad campaign.
There's a $20 one, Mary, from High Voltage.
High Voltage 75 said, nothing to be afraid of, Mary. I had deteriorating vision too. 10 years later, vision's still perfect. And you get free drugs like Kellen said. Not that I needed them because I'm not a wimp.
Oh, come on.
That's good. That's good.
Shade.
Okay, if you say so.
I had when I was in high school, I still remember my 7th grade biology teacher made us watch the video of his LASIK eye surgery. Yes, that was a thing. And like he made like he was all proud because like I guess when they released the clamps on his eye, he didn't blink and he's like, here it comes. Watch. And I guess he doesn't blink and he's like, yeah, like he's like really excited. Like all those years later after that, he didn't blink. And that was his big crowning achievement, was that he was able to finish his LASIK eye surgery and not blink immediately after when it was done.
Another reason that people don't like 6ix9ine is because he's
corny. He's corny. Sorry, he is. He's
actually been allegedly PDF file.
I saw somebody in the chat say that. I didn't know that. Is that true?
Yeah,
that's not confirmed?
I don't know the whole situation. I just remember there was a 13-year-old and there were allegations. Oof. I don't know all the details.
I didn't hear about that. You know, but I don't think that's why he got jumped.
No, it's not why he got jumped. That's the sad part, right?
Yeah, it just shows the state of things. You know, if you're a tattletale, oh, you're done. You're done for. But you're a diddler, no problem.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people on social media reacting to this are kind of LARPing as like you're not hard, you know, like you're not a blood. Oh, yeah, like why are you reacting to this? Like snitches get stitches. You literally come from a suburban neighborhood.
So he's being mocked now by other rappers, Boozy and Chief Keef. I think it's hilarious. Yep.
What did they say?
So snitches get stitches. Yep. Let's start a GoFund for this guy. So, okay, at least Boozy, you know, he got a swipe at him.
He needs a GoFundMe for his medical bills now.
He just does laughing
He also
emojis.
got kicked out of a bar earlier this week for like being drunk and causing a ruckus.
No, he was at a baseball stadium.
Oh yes, that's what it was.
And he got kicked out. Yeah. So it looks like he's not in the best frame of mind right now.
He's not even a good week.
Well, this pisses me off because, you know, like whether or not he deserved this, right? Like you have other rappers now coming out saying this is awesome. Yo, that culture, that mindset is literally why XXXTentacion got killed.
Yeah.
100% because you guys think it's a joke and you run up and you shoot people over like, I don't even know. It's silly. It's so dumb.
Pop smoke.
Some criminal dispute.
God.
This is what I don't get. Especially with like Brett, you know more about like rap culture, but like when it comes to rappers who are totally established multi-millionaires, what compels you to still to still make money off of crime? Like, why?
It's part of the
You don't have to do that
it's literally baked
anymore.
into the culture.
Like,
and it
isn't
seems
it the whole
to
like,
not do
story of
yeah.
it? The story arc of it is like coming up and being your own person finally, like making money off of your own artistry, not, you know, like, isn't that the come up story that's so glorified? Yet you're still.
I mean, I don't know about. Yeah, I don't even know
involved
about
in
that.
gang crime.
A lot
like,
of them, you know, the entirety of East Coast West Coast rap feud had to do with making millions of dollars through rap music while also being part of criminal syndicates and such. So, I mean, Suge Knight is in jail right now. Like I want to know Suge Knight's take on all this. That's what I want to know. He's probably like.
I believe this might be why Lil Uzi Vert became non-binary.
To get away
then
from
no one will take you seriously.
So there is this weird like kind of new age rapper where they're kind of like goth and emo.
Yeah.
Lil Uzi's in there. Trippie Redd's in there.
Retreating from the expectations of like being a gangster.
Yeah,
like, for real,
it's just there is somewhat of a new rap culture being built, but it's slow. It's getting there though.
Is that even a good thing? I don't know.
I don't know. Like it's kind of.
Do we want
kids.
Lil
like,
Uzi Vert to have a pink diamond implanted in his forehead and go by they them pronouns?
I'd rather him be like a weird punk like rocker guy like in the 80s than to be someone who will just go and shoot up a block. You know, like I'm sorry.
I wish there was something in the middle. I don't know.
Right.
This is just such a bizarre story. I haven't thought about the existence of Tekashi 6ix9ine in so long.
There's stuff in the middle would be the rappers that eventually got out, right? Would like Snoop Dogg is still allowed to like basically be gang active, right? But like Ice-T, Ice Cube all get out. A lot of those rappers, they do get out and they move on to Wu-Tang, RZA. Like moving on to acting and stuff like that. Right. Like a lot of them move on and create careers that are outside of that. Well, but that's far more like higher up the ladder of establishment.
And Ice Cube's his son. So it's like, you know, he's I think someone you should look up to. You know, he grew up in that life in LA, made a career. Now he's a movie star. And he's making sure his kid doesn't have to live that way that he did.
Dustin is right too. Nipsey Hussle talked about how you need to get out and then still got shot. Yeah. Like you can't escape it. It's unbelievable. Like, but for a lot of them, it's like, it's very hard to turn, like just because you make money to do something, right? That doesn't mean that you want to turn your back on everything you were beforehand, whether that's good or bad, right? It's baked into who you are.
What cringes me out is all of the like actual yuppies and suburbanites in the quote tweets talking about he deserved it, he's government property, blah blah blah. Like you don't even know what you're talking about.
Confront him. If you want to confront him, be like, yo, Tekashi, we know what you did. Get out of this gym. We go here. We don't want you here. Confront him. But they didn't say any of that. Yeah. They didn't say any of that. They just kicked him.
Other people thought this was a publicity stunt
for what,
to get him in the headlines, but
the better publicity stunt for him would be him winning the fight.
Yeah.
You don't publicity stunt with blood all over your face and go to the hospital for like broken rib cage in your jaw. Yeah. And like literally having a nosebleed. Like that's not a publicity stunt.
Tekashi, come on the pod. Tell your side of the story.
Wheezy's
we'll hear you out.
Wheezy's out here like skateboarding these days. Like
whatever happened to that guy that got big on to the Fleetwood Mac song? He was like longboarding
he bought a house. He bought a house. I actually just saw something about that the other day. Like on my Instagram story, like a year ago, I like reposted an article where like he bought a home and I think he got busted recently with weed in his car or something like that.
Okay.
As you would expect, that's fine. You know, I ain't got a problem with that, man. If it's just because it was like loose and it wasn't prescribed or something, let him live. Also, I saw today that Afro Man is being sued by the police that searched his house.
Song?
Well, yeah.
Did you watch the music video?
Because I got high?
No, his new one. So Afro Man released a new song. And it's all security camera footage of the police.
Amazing.
Of the police raiding his house.
Oh,
it's
apparently that has pissed off the police that searched his house because they're suing him. Because he's like defaming them. He said they stole like $400 from his house.
I think one of them ate like some of his cake or something. It was ridiculous. Yeah.
Police will raid your house, eat your cake, and then shoot your dog.
Yeah. He's like, why'd you have to bust down my door?
It's my favorite. Like I love talking about. And yes, in the chat, it is the guy who's saying because I got high. Remember, he's running for president in 2024, so he's got my vote. Like, I don't need Trump. I don't need DeSantis. I don't need Biden.
We've got
I don't need
one
Harris.
from T-Bone. He said, Mary, can't believe you never heard of a golden birthday, but it was so awesome hearing that yesterday. Helen, can you talk to Tim about getting a PCC Discord chat room?
Sure. Yes, but if you are, I'll talk to him. And just make sure you guys are members at timcast.com because that's the way you access the Discord.
I like popping into the Discord from time to time now, and just I wait for like I'm like a sniper. Like I just
what's going on in there?
I wait
don't
for
have
like
Discord. But
Oh, you should.
I had to literally
what's
make
the
a
411?
new one. I had to make a new one because I lost it. I don't have access to my original. Like I don't have access to that email anymore.
You're in the
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in there. I was in the elite chat room last night, just hanging out, but no one wanted to come talk to me. So.
Yeah.
You're an elite member.
That's right.
I wait for like conversations that are like like a lot of times they're having these really esoteric conversations about God, religion, and freedom and free will and stuff, and I'm like, I'll wait on that. Like
I would go in there and just be like, "You're all wrong, haha."
But
you know who Malcolm Flex is hanging out in there? He was hanging out in there for hours last night.
Dude, I want to get Malcolm Flex on here. That dude rules.
Yeah,
dude,
he's super cool.
That dude's awesome.
I would love his take on the whole Doja Cat, Black China stuff. I would love for him to, just because he's a
smart dude. He's such a
like
smart
literally
dude.
what I'm preaching. He's like, built, eats well.
It's also funny too because that's like a lot of what Eric July promotes now on his Twitter when he's not arguing with what he calls crackheads.
I love it.
He's saying go out. Be athletic, be great, and then like people that like argue with him, he just posts pictures of them because they're always unathletic and fat looking.
I love it.
He's so ruthless
the ultimate
on Twitter.
own is the post physique post, right?
That's it. Became he's like, I'm done arguing with these people. It's just post physique for all of them. So
physique specifically spelled Fizeek.
Yeah. So I think what we need to do is we need Tekashi 6ix9ine to get together with Afro Man, and they can make a joint track about the cops that raided them and the guys who beat him up.
Do it.
Yeah.
Nice.
He needs to make some kind of comeback.
Yeah. I don't know. It's really funny too because most of the music, the rap music that I listen to, we do have that discussion a lot, right? Like it was a weird thing to grow up in a time period where that life was sold as a product to white kids in the suburbs who couldn't really understand the culture behind it because they had no experience with it.
Which was fine, right?
Yeah.
And you didn't pretend that you did.
Yeah.
But now they're on Twitter talking about this, pretending that they did.
Yeah.
Because it's cooler to LARP as someone who struggled through something rather than be, obviously a cushy, comfortable suburbanite.
Yeah. Like when I grew up listening to rap music, whether it was Twista, Tupac, Biggie, awesome. Bone Thugs, all this stuff, Mac Dre, you understood that this wasn't your life. But they were also sold as a product that was cool. And you knew they were cool because they were authentic and you believed that they lived the life they lived, right? So I don't see that as something that's inherently bad. I see that as something that it's on us as the individuals to be able to tell the difference.
He said, for a hearty chuckle, look up Aqua's Barbie Girl song and look at Ken's hair. The makeup department did him dirty.
I'm going to have to look at that.
I've never seen that.
Come on, Barbie. Let's go
Golden Gaming says Biggie,
Iconic.
Tupac, Eminem, Dell. By Dell, do you mean Dell, the funky homo sapien? We're talking Deltron 3030. Dell was good too. All that's like, look, I still end up going back and listening to more rap music than anything else because I do believe that there's artistry behind it. And a lot of people take for granted or they focus on the messaging of it and they don't realize that there's true art to that. I will contend that most music made today is not actually produced in a way that's meant to be listened to as an album. When you listen to East 1999 Eternal by Bone Thugs and Harmony, I can't just put on the first song and stop. I listen to the whole album start to finish because it's made to be listened through as an album, interludes and all. So
that's definitely not how music is.
No, it's not.
It's singles that you put on TikTok one at a time.
Yeah.
Easily digestible, low attention span.
And what is it? Like the magical length is 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yep.
I think.
Really?
Yeah. 2 minutes and 40 seconds is the exact, like they've like mathematically proven that's like people will re-listen to it if it's 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
If it's
that's why actually a lot of people release a sped up version and slowed
Yeah.
down version
I'm
and
guilty of
regular
loving-
version of one single.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.